Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In this video, what we're going to be discussing is that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been playing very bad football the past couple weeks. Not really anything to be excited about if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. They were 6-3, then they were 7-4, now they're currently 7-7, and there's been some kind of reports coming out around the Pittsburgh Steelers organization about if they are still the same team they once were. You know, like the Killer Bees, you were scared to play them. Now, when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's like, okay, instead of everybody looking at it like, okay, we play the Pittsburgh Steelers this week, this is going to be a tough challenge. Oh boy, we might lose this game. I'm scared to play them. Now it's like, wow, we play the Pittsburgh Steelers today? Wow, bye week, free win. There's been reports about if Mike Tomlin's coaching style has gotten soft. George Pickens had the little interview after the previous game they had where he had a tackle he had a block he could have made for his running back Jalen Warren against the Colts, and he just whiffed on the block, didn't block him. And he said after the game, and I quote, "I didn't want to get rolled up and hurt." We're going to kind of go through and break down this entire team as the offense has been stinking. The defense has not been that good. The only player on the defense, or players on the defense that have actually showed up have been TJ Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and maybe you could say Joey Porter. And then pretty much just the whole culture of the Pittsburgh Steelers has just been very iffy. So like I said, we're going to kind of go through, break down everything, and I'm going to give you my opinion on what I think needs to happen with the Pittsburgh Steelers. If I think, from what people have been saying, if Mike Tomlin needs to go, if Mike Tomlin needs to stay, but they need to change up the culture a little bit, I'm going to kind of break it all down. So without further ado, if you're going to enjoy, as always, make sure you go and drop a like. Very much appreciative if you do so. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, starting off, like I said already in the intro, the offense has not been good all season. Now, let's look at the pieces they have around them. We talked about Matt Canada needed to be fired. He got fired. Okay, cool. What was going to change? The offense was supposed to get better. They had one good game where they beat the Cincinnati Bengals, I believe, like 13-10, 16-13, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like 13-10. The offense was better that day. The Cincinnati Bengals turned the ball over a few times, which kind of allowed them to have more offense, even though they didn't have that many points. They had about 400 total offensive yards that game. Was the first time they did that since like 2021, I believe. But even with that, their offense has not been the best since then. I believe they're like 20 yards less passing yards a game since then. The rushing has not been that good. Everything about this offense has just been funky all season. Looking at yards per game stats for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're currently 27th in the league behind only the New England Patriots, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Carolina Panthers, the New York Giants, and the New York Jets. That doesn't say much. When those are the only teams ahead of you, whenever it comes to being worse in offense, that kind of means you stink at offense. I mean, you look at the offense, you got George Pickens, you had Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson, he's more of a veteran. He's more kind of on the older side. He's probably not going to play that much longer, and we didn't really expect him to make a huge impact, I guess you could say, within this offense. You have Deontay Johnson, who has been a really good receiver for this team, just hasn't really blossomed into like this pure #1 receiver like we thought he was going to. When he was there with Big Ben, he played really well. Here lately, he's just not been it, especially when he's had quarterbacks like Mitchell Trubisky, Duck Hodges, Mason Rudolph, and now Kenny Pickett. People all year long have also talked about the defense. Oh man, the defense is there to just carry this team. Defense and special teams, they're the ones that carry the team. Even though the offense sucks, the defense can play well and they can get us some win. Earlier on in the season, we talked about being Tomlin your way into victories, which, don't get me wrong, I said it a few times, and I was even saying the same thing, like, this fucking Steelers team is just going to Tomlin their way to a playoff appearance. The thing that's weird is their defense isn't incredible. Like, when we were saying that because we thought this defense was like top 5 in every category, and it's just the offense stunk so much that it almost seemed like this team was just mid. But I'm looking at their stats, and they're only 20th in yards per game on defense. One of the big things with the Pittsburgh Steelers was in the past, they knew how to shut down the run. They were a physical team. They eliminated your run game. Looking at the stat, they're only 22nd in the league in stopping the run. They allow around 121.6 rushing yards a game. That is not a Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Now, kind of getting into the big picture as to what exactly is going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I already said it once in the intro, and I said it again here a couple minutes ago. The Pittsburgh Steelers problem is they are losing their culture. They're losing the physicality. They're losing the fight. It just seems like these guys are out here just to get a quick paycheck and go home. They didn't care about if they got hurt. They didn't care about anything else. It was they wanted to win the game. They were going to punch you in the face. They were going to kick your ass, and they were going to make sure you understood who you just played and you don't want to ever play us again. And it's weird because Mike Tomlin, he was there in the 2005 until now. It's not like he wasn't around for any good teams. He was around during that 08 Steelers team and the 010 Steelers team. 08 when they won the Super Bowl, 010. Those two kind of defenses have been labeled as like the best defenses that Mike Tomlin has coached in his entire career. 08 has been rumored from Big Ben to be probably one of the scariest defenses we've ever seen. More or less because of the fact of the guys they had on the team. I mean, James Harrison, Ryan Clark, Troy Polamalu, the list goes on and on and on. But those dudes were not there just to play ball. They were there to hurt you. And I realize the rules have changed over the years to where you can't hit an offensive guy as hard, you can't tackle him certain ways. The game has changed, and I understand that, but still the way guys are playing nowadays, I mean, you look around defenses nowadays, Cowboys defense is playing aggressive, Browns defense is flying around playing aggressive. You look around the league, Patriots defense, even though they suck this year, that defense still plays physical. Former Pittsburgh Steelers players, like I said, from every name you can think of to Hall of Famers from the team, have come out and they started saying different things about the team. This one wasn't from an unknown source. This isn't, quote, "The Steelers are a mess across the board. They can't score. Their defense has regressed. Injuries have chewed them up. They play unsound football, and special teams have just been an asset," quote. Now, I guess the big question that everybody's going to be saying is, well, let's look at it this way. If they fix their offense and Kenny Pickett can be the franchise quarterback and he can play really well, could that fix the team? And I'm going to say this. I don't think so. They do need to get a good quarterback in there, but they need somebody to just come in and like talk some sense into these guys, because I feel like Mike Tomlin has lost his touch. There was a clip I literally just saw like 5 minutes ago where it was the Steelers wide receivers kind of warming up at practice and they were running some drills, and you saw one receiver come out and he quickly went up and down through the cones. Then you saw George Pickens, and he kind of quickly goes up for the first one, and then he jogs to the second one, and then he jogs to the second one or third one, catches the ball, walks off. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Kind of moving forward with the season, like I said, there's been former Steelers players talking about Ryan Clark. He works for ESPN. He was talking about this on Get Up, and he was basically saying, Mike Tomlin, I just feel like, has lost his touch, and he says that he thinks that Mike Tomlin, either he needs to bring in like former guys. Ryan Clark said it on Get Up. He basically said, do I need to go in there and talk to these boys and talk some sense to them? Because that's what I feel like needs to happen. These Steelers players that are going in there, there's only a handful of players. Like I said, the TJ Watts, the Minkah Fitzpatrick, now Joey Porter is kind of bought into it a little bit. George Pickens seemed like he was bought into it there for a while, because like he wants to win and he was getting pissed off on the sideline. But now it's like with the way his energy is and the way how he doesn't really care that much, for especially when it comes to blocking. Even if you think, oh man, this might not impact play. Did you not realize, George Pickens, when you made your block, the second you let go, Jaylen Warren had a hole to go running for a touchdown, but your guy went and tackled him. Like, there's no like principle or fatherhood within that locker room. You look at other teams with head coaches. There's a head coach which is like the father, and they know how to control their guys. Mike Tomlin looks like the stepfather at this point. But now comes in the big question of, as everybody's been saying, should Mike Tomlin go? Should he be fired? I do not think that. I think Mike Tomlin should stay as the head coach. I think Mike Tomlin is still the right guy, because here's the thing I think people need to realize as Pittsburgh Steelers fans. If you are calling for Mike Tomlin to be fired, I know there's not a lot of them people saying that, but for those of you who are saying that, do you fucking realize how fast he would be picked up by another team? Do you realize that? Like, if he was fired after the season, say they end up going 8-9, 9-8, whatever, and you fire him, he's going to be hired the next day. There's going to be at least like 8 head coaching openings by the time the season's over, and at least one of them is going to call Mike Tomlin up and be like, how much you want? Blank check. Here you go. Come coach for us. But if you're a Steelers fan, let me know in the comments what you kind of think about this, because I really think the Steelers fans are stupid for saying that he needs to be fired. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll stay. I think going in the next season, I think you guys need to figure out what your quarterback position is going to be. I think Mitch Trubisky, this is the second year of his contract. It was a 2-year contract. He's going to be gone after the season. Mason Rudolph, I think he's also done with his rookie contract, so he'll be done and gone. Is Kenny Pickett the guy? That's the thing they need to figure out. Are they going to be drafting somebody in this upcoming draft? Are they going to stick with Kenny Pickett? Are they going to go after a veteran in free agency? What are they going to do there? And then the offensive coordinator position, you need to get in somebody that's going to actually be able to run this offense, help develop Kenny Pickett, make him into a better quarterback, get the best out of your receivers and your running back, try to get a run game going. Basically just get this offense fixed and off the ground. And when it comes to the defense, special teams, I think they're still good there. They're still fine-tuned. They have nothing wrong with them, I don't think. But other than that, that's all I got to talk about for today's video. Hopefully you guys did go on to enjoy. If you did enjoy today's video, as always, make sure you drop a like. It's very much appreciated if you do so. Like I said throughout the video, if I missed a detail or maybe I missed something about the Steelers that maybe they do need to do to change things, if you think they should fire Mike Tomlin, not fire Mike Tomlin, who do you think they should hire as the offensive coordinator? Do you think Kenny Pickett should stay there? All that sorts of stuff. If there's a detail you want to add in the comment section down below, feel free to do so. Leave your opinion down there. If you're a fan of the content that I do post here and you want to go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so. And do not forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post. I upload sports content here whenever it comes to news, updates, different little things whenever it comes to the NFL, NBA, MLB, or just anything Cleveland sports related, Ohio State sports related, all that sort of stuff will be here on the channel. But without further ado, this has been Donald Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.